in the teal color, spawning in the top left of Ancient City. This is our Dark Elf player, Rhaaah.
And in the bottom right corner, spawning in as the humans, we've got Esprimo. Seems to be going for the pretty standard human opening build, double woodcutter and a stone cutter. Triple woodcutter, my apologies, and a stone cutter. Generally what we tend to see from the humans.
On the other side, Rhaaah is just going for the triple woodcutter and one hunting cabin. Actually, he's slowing down his progress on the hunting cabin in order to get the workers everywhere else, which is a strange one. You don't often get to see that. But anyway, just to give context to this match, this is a quarterfinals match of the MetaPlace monthly tournament number 4. There's going to be one more monthly tournament in this season, and then we're on to the season finale in this one, which is going to be a big $400 tournament.
That is going to be something to look forward to. We're super excited to see that. Looks like our human player has decided to go forward with the Royal Mage. You can see that Rhaaah has scouted out her current location using the Spectre, currently getting poked at by the scout for Esprimo. And on the other side, oh, Spectre goes down. That's a small delay they'll have to deal with later. But in the meantime, there will be a... what do we got here coming out for the Dark Elf? That is
a Reaper for Rhaaah over here.
Oh, yes. So maybe going to see a little bit of buffed Reaper play, as we did see some changes in the most recent patch to the Reaper, as Guardian of Nor had been the dominant play before that had happened. So that's going to be interesting to see how the Reaper shakes out here.
Oh, he's not yet picking the skills. We'll have to see what way he goes. But yeah, the Reaper is overall pretty potent. Maybe Ancient City not the best map for him. But yeah, there were nerfs to the Guardian of Nor, so might be reasonable to go for it over here and just run with the Reaper. This is, by the way, now on the new patch, I believe, but there was a little hot fix, so people won't be able to have the replays. We do have a special version here, just so that we can watch and cast these games. But anyway, the balance should be the same.
For the most part, yeah, you can tell it is the most recent patch because we have this handy-dandy little level-up bar here at the bottom of the screen. Very nice to be able to see.
Yeah, and whatever you select, you see the player name as well, so you don't have to think much.
Also very nice. Love the improvements that Grimlore continue to bring to this game. After release, it's so great to see all that post-launch support we've been seeing out here. And look at this, the heroes on a bit of a collision path with each other, going to meet here in the top right. It is Rhaaah who gets to this sector first and claims the Dark Ensign.
With Esprimo actually not picking anything single target much, I actually like for Rhaaah that he's managed to obtain the split map. Like Esprimo didn't get Fire Spark, instead he was opting for Biting Frost, so that will mean that once he has Ice Might, then he'll be able to you know, build that up quite quickly. Rely on that a little bit more, so that's an Enfeeble, essentially, which reduces enemy attacks right there. But Rhaaah is just having a good time going for the Medusa right now.
Yeah, and Esprimo does most of the damage to the Dark Ensign, throws down Blizzard, but then the upgrade to the Scouting Post is complete, so he's forced to teleport somewhere else. Didn't get a whole lot for his troubles. Going to start creeping the Medusa in the bottom left, I think, here, once he links up with a couple of his troops.
Only has 2 infantrymen. That is not a whole lot, I have to say. Also currently not training any units. But
He's done a nice job of upgrading his sectors so far, though. Everything that he has control of has currently been upgraded, so maybe just focusing more on an economic opener will transition into military, hopefully before the Dark Elf army gets here.
Which is fine. This is around the point where you upgrade one of these bottom sectors and you slap down 2 barracks. So I think the resources do align for that right now, so you should definitely start thinking about it. And there it is, the Frontier Outpost coming in. It reaches level 4 at least on that Royal Mage, but I do think that Rhaaah will be able to get a little bit of work done over here on the Medusa, maybe steal a tiny bit of experience, just putting him ever so slightly closer to tier 5 or level 5.
Whether scouting or game sense, he does just seem to know exactly where Esprimo is playing and has arrived with his little cadre of undead to spoil this creeping here. Going to throw in a couple of abilities here. Now the Medusa getting low, who will get the experience? It does appear that it went over to Esprimo.
It's a bit of a share. So basically proportional damage, right? So if you do half damage, then you get half the XP.
That's right, my apologies. But yeah, managed to get away with most of the experience there and got the scouting post up for himself, so I don't know that too much really was accomplished there for Rhaaah. Good defense from Esprimo.
Yeah, it's just ever so slightly he is closer to level 5. Esprimo still needs, what, 419 experience, I believe, here?
Yes. Now, he is going to take this Dark Ensign, and he is a little bit lower on health, and also Esprimo lost his scout and one of his infantrymen during that fight. Going to lose another one right here to the zombies, so all the army is gone.
Yeah, and Rhaaah just upgrading this ensign right in front of him. Esprimo just doesn't have much to take this out with. Unfortunately, losing the infantryman just took out a lot of that DPS. The Tarantula are also going to run right past. And maybe Rhaaah can put on some pressure, kill some workers. The workers still do provide a little bit of XP, so every little thing that he can get to get closer to level 5 is fantastic.
Definitely going to start here. The Tarantula have arrived, but a couple more undead come out as well to start poking at this hunting cabin. The hero is quite weak. This Reaper needs to be real careful with his positioning, because if any troops arrive, he can get blocked and killed pretty quickly. Now, there's not too many troops for Esprimo, but, you know, Rhaaah doesn't necessarily know that.
Oh, by the way, he got the Ratcatcher level 3. I've never seen anybody get this weapon as a priority, so very interesting by Rhaaah for sure. And he out of here.
Forces the TP away. No real damage done. Looks like a worker or two dropped, or maybe those were, looks like those might have been some footmen, but yeah, not too much gained. There is unfortunately a Dark Elf scouting post in the bottom left that will need to be taken care of. He's got a little bit more than half of the map here, and if that's left unchecked, that could turn into some form of an advantage for Rhaaah. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the game goes on.
What's interesting is that both players are already in tier 2, and no doubt they will start mining iron very, very soon. Although right now I don't see anything for Rhaaah just yet, but I'm sure he's starting on it in a not too distant future. For now, he's got a Hall of Pain and pumping out these infiltrators with that. Very good unit.
Yes, they will, especially when upgraded, they will start to deal a lot of damage to the human army. Starting to poke down this iron mine at the time being. That was, I think, the first iron mine dropped for Esprimo. So now his iron supply going to be cut off, meaning he will have a tough time training higher tier units for a short while. Things starting to snowball, I think, just a little bit here for Rhaaah. He's got a really nice early game advantage by having a slightly bigger army, and he's kind of just catapulted that into really good control of the mid game here.
Did he just steal some resources there?
I think he did.
That's awesome. But yeah, especially if Rhaaah can secure these extra sectors that he's just gotten, that would be extra painful for Esprimo. Dark Elves can get to the higher level outposts earlier than others, so in tier 2 you have access to the border fortresses. It is very difficult to break that.
He has already turned the sector in the bottom left to a frontier post, so not much longer before he should be able to click up and make that quite a pain to deal with if he should so choose.
Right now, the
footmen just a little bit out of position here. Everybody going to group up, and now the fight begins.
you definitely gotta like the army situation right now for Rhaaah, as he's nearly doubling the population of Esprimo. It's kind of brutal. Also has his first harvester out.
One thing we can say for Esprimo is that a lot of these units that you see on the field here for Rhaaah are either undead summoned by the Reaper or tarantulas. And once he gets some higher level units out, those will melt quite quickly. They're not the beefiest of units. So maybe if Rhaaah can hold on towards the later stages, this army advantage he's maintained will not quite mean so much.
Now, Esprimo is doing what he can to deliver some AoE damage here. Spiders are slowly burning down. And it's probably in Rhaah's interest to just retreat back and hide behind that frontier post. Actually gets a pick off on an infantryman. Another one was saved by Esprimo at 53 health. So that's going to be nice to let regenerate over time. But the spiders, they will also be regenerating. So not much was lost for Rhaaah, really. There's a handful of spider corpses, but there's actually a lot more food on the ground in terms of infantrymen. So that's like 6 infantryman corpses. That's amazing for Rhaaah.
Yeah, he really took a good fight there. I think...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What's up?
Emergency. Esprimo's forge wasn't building. The worker got stuck. He's doing the recyclo trick, so let's see if that saves him. But he's currently at minus 19 stone. So yeah, that forge in the main is just not going to be made for a long time, and the workers might get stuck again due to that position.
Oh, no. And now we've got a fight breaking out over near the bottom left. The army for Rhaaah has arrived and are absolutely slaughtering the workers near the iron mine. The couple of men of Esprimo's are fighting back, and a catapult has arrived. No upgrade on that yet, as the forge is yet to be finished. But yeah, they do push the members away, and you can see quite a few dead spiders here. So workers lost. That is unfortunate, but counter damage done. I think Esprimo will maybe be okay with that.
Finally, his catapult can also take down this fortified outpost, probably. But at the same time, you know, Rhaaah can teleport in and do a lot of damage to these infantrymen. So far, so good for him.
Yeah, not going to lose the fortified outpost. In fact, quite healthy. And XP advantage now on the side of the Dark Elf, I think. So that will mean that a little bit more power in his hands. Going to have to be careful about the engagements that you take, especially with level 5 right around the corner.
Well, Rhaaah is setting up his iron economy now. I'm seeing 4 iron mines total. That's a pretty good start. Once he can transition into... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, also has his Spire of Souls online, so he will begin to harvest the souls that he can get up and running. So that is that infinite resource the Dark Elves have to look forward to in the late game. So getting that online early means you'll have a better supply of it later, and that was turned into a border fortress, that bottom left sector that Rhaaah was able to grab as well. So that'll make it even more obnoxious to deal with.
Tough life for Esprimo for sure. Once the sleepers come out, that's gonna get even worse. Rhaaah is stockpiling a little bit of iron right now, so soon TM.
Catapult going off, but without the burning flame oil upgrade is not going to do too much damage to a lot of these units. But that will a huge AoE burst onto all of those spiders. A little bit more follow-up damage, and they could be dying pretty quickly.
Oh no, bad news for Esprimo. That's level 5, and Kiss of Nor annihilates a handful of these infantrymen, together with the border fortress doing massive magic damage. To make things worse, Blood Shower is also in. But Esprimo did kill enough units to also gain experience, and he's got Starfall, so that can either help him siege or pick off these units. If you combine it with Hailstorm, it's very difficult for the enemies to move. It hides the Starfall pretty well as well, but yeah, that's just gonna hit one infiltrator, not too big of a deal.
Yeah, I would love to see some big AoE spells like that Blizzard thrown down up here in where the Dark Elf army is entering from, and that would mean they're in a really tough position, unable to prevent this border fortress from going down, but thrown down in the middle of the fight, not going to hit too much, and now the human is forced with a choice to either focus the border fortress or fight the army, and I think he's going to, yeah, not going to get either, really. Going to lose out on both of them, losing 2 catapults in the process. The third one may be going to get away. We're not sure, but yeah, that I would have loved to see that Blizzard get thrown down in the choke point up near the top to keep them from entering in the first place.
Looks like we've had a nice soul harvest from Rhaaah, and also these catapult pickups are actually huge because they've been made more expensive, I believe. what's the cost again? So it's now 7 and 6. So 7 woods, 6 iron. That's quite a bit.
So that's a forge. The forge did get finished. Okay, and there is a
Nice.
an upgrade currently researching that is the wildfire boulders. The catapults will begin to be more of use during these army fights, but yeah, now that's gonna take a while just to come in.
Yeah, that's definitely a point where they start to be a lot more useful as a backbone of the army, but yeah, both of them getting picked off. Rhaaah is showing absolutely no mercy. The next upgrade will be Esprimo's infantryman getting, I believe, health. What's he upgrading again? Yes, it's the hardened oak shield, so that's gonna be health, and then he can get warhammers for their damage. Another big soul harvest by Rhaaah. And Rhaaah actually has 5 spires of souls right now. Oh, the man's rich. He's also got the forge going with whirling blades for the sleepers, so triple damage for sleepers. He hasn't even made any yet, at least they're not in the fight. Oh wait, he did. He made 5, and he also has 2 basilisks who are chilling in the somewhere. I don't know. Just waiting.
If you look at the mini-map, there's a
Yep.
complete stream of teal units coming down from the top right. And purple is getting pinched. Esprimo pinched from 2 angles. He's got the reinforcements he's trying to deal with from the top right, and the hero and the main force of the Dark Elf army are going to be harassing workers at the iron mine. Tons of them going down here.
Oh, that's such a good move right there. Forcing maybe Esprimo to even recycle these iron mines would be huge, because they're just not going to be working. Another blood shower would be required to actually destroy them. I think he's going to prioritize defending this own iron operation here.
Yeah, trying to force a response out of his opponent is Esprimo, and it will work. He pulls the teal army off of his own units, but now the army that he does have is going to be pinched from 2 separate angles, and oh my goodness, the teleport out at the very last second, but still, that's a costly maneuver.
Well, let's see if these infantrymen can maybe destroy a handful of the buildings. Oh wait, Rhaaah has a teleport of his own. That's right. That's a lot of trouble.
Time. And look at the size of these armies here. I mean, it's just night and day.
Oh.
Let's get a nice snipe on the woodcutter on the way out. Little fadeaway shot there.
Unfortunately, Rhaah's Kiss of North did a lot more damage, killing several infantrymen again. And now he's got basilisks to destroy these iron mines with. That's going to be brutal.
One escapes on just... Are they going to poke it? Is he going to poke it? There it goes. There it goes down. Yeah, it just feels like Rhaaah has an absolute chokehold on Esprimo in just every aspect of the game right now. Esprimo just can't find a win really anywhere across the board. I'm not sure what he needs to do, but it feels like his current tactic is just not producing results.
Oh! I heard an explosion, wondered what it was. It was a Scion. Rhaaah actually connected them with the workers in the iron mine area, so that was a nice little triple kill there. Another iron mine going down. Dude, Esprimo's economy is just almost non-existent. Another sick Kiss of Nor hitting the middle of the army, and Blood Shower will be doing a ton more damage, stopping these guys also from regenerating.
Yeah, if you look at the population, Rhaaah has double the population of Esprimo at the time being, so that is just gonna keep getting worse. I feel like kind of from the moment Rhaaah was able to snag this sector in the bottom right side and it went unpunished, he kind of has run the game since then.
Yep, completely agreed. Well, both players are now in tier 3 behind this, and man, Rhaaah just keeps dodging every single starfall. Esprimo just not able to get that meteor to hit.
Big juicy blizzard, but unless there's follow-up damage, those guys will all re-heal in no time flat. A little bit of pressure onto the Reaper, but he has potions, he'll be just fine. And a big blinding cloud poison onto everybody that's out there. Lots of weakening spreading across most of the strong units for Esprimo, which means they're not going to want to fight for the time being. A lot of those keepers are really hurt.
Yeah, and if it did get close, that Corona Cloud is pretty powerful, so don't want to deal with that. Oh! Oh, once again, the Scion run-bys are going after the workers. Rhaaah is just not allowing anything to be gathered here. Now let's see if Esprimo gets No, that's just normal fire. Sorry. The Starfall is once again probably gonna miss unless Rhaaah walks into it, but she's not.
Griffins have arrived for Esprimo. We'll have to see if these can be the saving grace here. Not seeing anything that deals with them too well on the side of Rhaaah. He does have quite a few infiltrators, but other than that, I don't see much range damage. So maybe the Griffins can turn things around here.
Well, he's starting to add Striders. That's going to be very dangerous if they start getting higher in numbers. And also, if Esprimo does provide some melee targets, the area of effect from the Sleepers can attack air units.
Oh, that's true.
But not the normal damage. So, yeah, you know, it's all about positioning here.
Once again, using that Blizzard in a nice spot, but could have used it in the choke point to prevent the Dark Elf army from really entering.
Okay, this Starfall might hit. It kind of did, but it didn't do that much damage to Basilisks. They have a lot of health.
And once again, they're in this tough position where the human army is forced to choose between focusing down the border fortress and addressing the Dark Elf army that arrives. And they're just put in a no-win situation, not really getting either of them forced to run home with their tail between their legs.
Oh, look at all these tasty souls.
Yummy souls for the Dark Elves.
Well, here come the Twisted Ones as well. Rhaaah is certainly not messing around. He's got a single Dark Temple for now. Oh, what are those basilisks? Where did they come from? That's so many. We are looking at a total of 6 basilisks. This is very unusual, but it seems to be doing the job just fine.
It was a big money blizzard from the Royal Mage, but that's about all that's going to get done. She's on 250 health. It's going to have to run for the time being. Tries to stick around, do a little bit more damage, and she will pay for it with her life. And with that happening and no army remaining other than 2 Griffins, that is going to be the GG called by Esprimo. Game 1 goes to Rhaaah.
Yep, beautifully done. A little bit untraditional maybe in the Dark Elf styles, but I mean, I was very entertained to see something different here with the mass basilisk play. Just giving the humans a taste of their own medicine. They are usually the ones who get a ton of catapults, so good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, just kind of in every single way you can see here on the graphs, the Dark Elves just sort of ran the game. And I think a lot of it went back to just kind of some split focus in the early game, some interesting decisions about where to focus your damage and your attention with the early hero, and it just didn't end up playing out all that well for Esprimo. Gonna have to see if he can turn things around in game number 2.
Welcome to game 2. In the orange color, we have got our Dwarven player. This is Rhaaah.
And in the bottom left corner, in purple, we've got the human player Esprimo coming off of a tough loss in game 1. He's going to have to bounce back here to send us to future games.
Yes, going again with the humans. Let's see how that works out. Gonna be the Royal Mage again. This is a more experience-rich map, so it should be reasonably possible to get to level 6 or even 7, where the Royal Mage, I would say, is really starting to shine. Last time we didn't get to it, but if you can get that Hailstorm level 2 going with Biting Frost level 2, and you can freeze the enemy hero, take them out of the equation, that's going to be a pretty big deal. And obviously, absorb the elements was something that we didn't get to see last time. That's what really buffs up that Starfall, as well as Hailstorm Slow. Now for Rhaaah, we've got the Warrior of the Depths, however. He actually just went forward, skipping the initial easy camp, just trying to secure the middle. The Warrior of the Depths has been buffed significantly. So you got this aura thing, the Starward Song, which provides you with a little bit of a shield, including your allies nearby. So that is huge. You can take down some early outposts that you would have no business doing otherwise. And we've also got the new Relentless Rage perk. Every attack gives him a more powerful attack, basically.
Not going for any of those at the time being. Gonna put his points into Head Splitter and Brute Force here at level 1. But we'll reach level 2 shortly by creeping the end of this camp here to see what he takes.
Interesting that he didn't pick the Starward Song at all. He's just focusing on Brute Force and Relentless Rage here. And of course, Inspiring Presence is going to allow him to, keep using that Head Splitter on cooldown pretty much.
Basically trying to hone his Warrior of the Depths into a single target nuke in the early game. He just wants to blow things up.
Alright, that's a really strange build from Rhaaah. So he's going for a very early Hunting Cabin and a very early second sector, rather than getting the wood, which a lot of players do. He's also not heavily focusing on stone cutting. There's going to be wood in the main, though. That's what he's going for. I see. Yeah, very interesting build. Esprimo now working on the back.
Yeah, he wants to go ahead and secure the area behind him. Looks like both players actually kind of just focusing on doing that for the time being, doing a bit of a loop around their own bases. So unlike game number 1, not going to, run into each other really in the early game and have any of these early game fights. Nice extra potion being picked up right now by Rhaaah, and this will finish off his sectors that he's going to claim, at least for the early game. I think maybe the mid sector will get claimed as game goes on, but it's a little too early for that right now.
Yep. Now, depending on the picks, it looks like Rhaaah did go for Recuperate, which is going to give his Warrior of the Depths a lot of extra staying power. You can definitely use that to tank that heavy creep early on, but I would say for now, let's just go for the Medusa. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, and most of the points, in fact, a couple unspent points here right now for Esprimo. You got to spend those points, buddy. But yeah, going for Hailstorm and Fire Nova, just like you had alluded to, as well as Biting Frost, and then a couple points into Deep Waters. So generally a pretty standard Royal Mage build, nothing too out of the ordinary here. You generally tend to see a lot of focus and a lot of AoE damage as you're playing the Royal Mage.
Okay, this time we're gonna see Spark and Incinerate, so this is very different from last game in the end. I'm a big fan of this. This is gonna be great. You'll just need a lot more points to really make everything shine. Oh, is Rhaaah gonna lose the Warrior of the Depths on purpose? No. He's actually gonna keep farming here. Chug a potion. Use Recuperate, probably. Yeah, he did.
And he's got plenty of potions to keep on chugging for the time being, up to 5 for the time being. Lots of good creeping coming out, meaning he's going to get lots of loot. Still has not returned to do any buying yet, unlike Esprimo, who has headed back and bought some new gear for his hero.
Bad news for Esprimo is he hasn't gotten his own Medusa, so is the same thing from last time going to happen again, where Rhaaah just kind of goes over there and starts stealing the XP. Might be the case.
Well, the ambush is kind of on the other foot this time. Last time it was, it was Rhaaah arriving and interrupting the creeping of Esprimo. This time Esprimo shows up and does get a little bit of kills onto these workers trying to get out here and get this free food. Oh no! These are the moments you wish you could control workers in SpellForce 3. You're like, stop! Stop running out there!
They are going real far. There's definitely some boars closer to this hunting cabin. Okay.
And now the attention being put on the mid. Both players heading towards the middle camp here. Now the sector does get claimed first by Rhaaah, but also the aggro from the Storm Wyvern. So That's a kind of a double-edged sword there. Lots of damage being put down onto the Warrior of the Depths, but the Royal Mage is pretty squishy.
Yeah, and he's also a level down, which means that there's a massive health discrepancy here. 1950 to 1450, so huge difference between these two characters. Not to say that the Royal Mage is worse in any way, he's just different. He's not meant for this 1v1.
He's built different. Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to play out in the humans' favor. There are a lot more Dwarven troops here than the humans, despite the fact that the aggro, oh, I guess was onto the Dwarf. He retreats, and now the Storm Wyvern is attacking the Royal Mage. They will get the sector for their troubles and immediately begin upgrading it, so I'm not really sure who comes out ahead there. This is a real slugfest in the middle here. Ooh, money hailstorm.
This is really nice for Esprimo that he was able to capture the center sector. I'm gonna play into his hand for sure, and maybe he can pick up some reinforcements on the way out. Oh, but the Wyvern is still going after his units. Infantryman getting low. Oh, lightning. Yikes, that hurts. Rhaaah is not idling. He's going to kill some workers and then go for this woodcutter. Now that he has Stalwart Song, he's easily gonna be able to do it, as these axe wielders just get a shield every now and then. Yeah, look at that. He's just ignoring 3 shots from the base. That's insane.
I'm not sure. I mean, claiming this sector is nice, but I think the Storm Wyvern can take it down if it's left unpunished.
Well, there is repair. Esprimo does have the resources to keep that going for now. I do think, though, he should upgrade the outpost to a frontier. That will do a lot more damage back to the Wyvern, and also the repair is faster.
What is Rhaaah up to in the time being? Just looking to do a little bit of creeping in the bottom right. Got a little bit of experience. Now is returning to put more pressure onto the mid with the troops that he has. Getting close-ish to level 4. Or excuse me, to level 5. About a quarter of the way there. So that is a worry spot that Esprimo will have to be careful of. Killing maybe some workers. Definitely this footman in trouble. The frontier outpost has been upgraded once again. So, and the Storm Wyvern now with plenty to chase, down to 6,000 health. It looks to be the dwarves who are going to take most of the damage and the experience here. The human army not in position to do a ton about this. They're busy trying to secure up the left side sector from these Medusae.
Well. Rhaaah does get the item in the end. I mean, he's eaten a bunch of these chain lightnings, but I think he can take it. He'll just retreat, enjoy his level 5 for now, and that's a hell frame. This hero is so tanky right now. 2,300 health. And unlocked Precision Stance. Got Inspiring Presence too, so a lot of focus will be restored every time he does that. Looks like Precision has been picked up, which gives him 10 extra focus and 1 focus every attack. And yeah, Precision Stance is just amazing, so that's one way to chase down the hero. We're going shopping as well. Oh, he naked.
Yeah, that's what I saw that too. I was like, he's just standing there without any clothes on. But he is going to sell and buy up some new armor and a new weapon. So better than the first game, is managing to return to the shop and get himself some better gear, which is pretty essential for the Warrior of the Depths, as he, unlike the Royal Mage, does want to be in the thick of things, right in the fray there.
I don't think I've ever cast a game where the Warrior of the Depths showed off the dead bod.
That's true. Dead bod. That's a little gift for all of Twitch chat there. They get to just enjoy that with us. Now the human army is quite small and caught out of position here, trying to harass just a little bit on the dwarven side of the map. Will get pushed back for it.
They've got the economy, but not the numbers. This is going to be rough to hold. Right, 69 population. Nice. But Esprimo at only 28.
Yeah, this is the moment where the greed. I feel like Esprimo's build so far has just been pure greed. And for the most part, he's been able to get away with it. This is the second where it could catch up to him. If he can hold here, he's in a better spot, I think, than the dwarves. But if he gets punished for his greed because he has no army, then it doesn't do you a whole lot of good that your economy's in great shape.
It's good for him that he's in tier 2 and he was able to get this fortified outpost, which means that the Royal Mage can just go after the axe wielders, and there's nothing that can really threaten the base. But I gotta say, these sentries are tough for the Royal Mage to deal with, or any hero. They take up a lot of space, which means your AoE damage isn't that good. And they're one of the highest damage archers in the game. So, like, okay, if you don't count the tier 3 Dark Elf stuff, for an archer, they're basically the best. Able to just delete heroes if they can get to target.
But not able to take down the fortified outpost. Got a couple of kills. But just, you know, too strong without any siege damage here for the dwarf means that for the time being, Esprimo's greed is unpunished and he'll get away with it.
Yeah, very nicely done. There's going to be a triple stone hall from Rhaaah, and he's starting to pump the good old Earth Shapers, so they're just basically better axe wielders, essentially. They can pop a shield later once he upgrades them. We'll need a little bit of iron for that. Wait, that actually doesn't cost iron, never mind. But there's a tunnel.
So we do have level 5 here for the Warrior of the Depths, whereas level 4 has not been reached for Esprimo, which means he's really close. Like, he needs like 11 XP or something. 7? 8. 8 XP. Math on cast. Don't do it. Yeah, it needs 8 XP to get himself up to level 5, but without it, he really doesn't want to be taking a fight right now.
Well, good news for Esprimo. He just finished upgrading his infantryman. That's going to be super helpful. But Rhaaah is not sitting around. He's going after the Inferno Golem. That will put him all the way at level 7. He also has an interrupt that he can use to stop the Inferno Golem from doing his big fire attack. Should be fine here, really.
It's interesting. Esprimo seems to have a little bit of a sixth sense that the Dwarven army is out of position. He started to harass these workers. And if he notices that the dwarves aren't arriving to stop him, he could go even further and really put them in a pickle where they're forced to either decide between this Inferno Golem or defending this base. And yeah, look, Esprimo going further. I like this move from him, recognizing the weakness and pushing.
Question is, did Rhaaah just gain more than he's losing to that attack? Because he's level 7. That's wild. The hero of Esprimo, the Royal Mage, is at level 5, so huge discrepancy still. And we've got the Ring of the Sacred Rite, so that is additional cooldowns reduction. Surprised he actually got the Ring of Nullification in the shop. That's a bit awkward, because now he has to decide between that and the Revitalizing Ring, and they're essentially the same power level.
To complain about that for just a second, there are 10 fingers on our heroes. Why do we only get one ring slot? Immersion broken. Game literally unplayable.
Because the rings would rub on rings. That's uncomfortable, right?
It's true. I guess that's true. So yeah, but you're right though. Esprimo gets a couple buildings down, and in exchange, 2 levels up. Oh wow, that's a money hit.
Oh, and the Icicle is finishing them off. Very nice cast of Hailstorm as well. Love it. The Catapult Fire also doing the job. Fortified Outpost is... Well, it's gonna go out of employment at this rate if everyone else takes care of everything else.
You can tell that Esprimo in that last game was really missing those wildfire boulders in the fight against the Dark Elves, so he prioritized getting them this time, and the difference it's making in this fight is night and day.
Yeah.
Catapult might go down. Oh.
It's gonna be more of that, I think. Fortified Outpost for now holding, but this Royal Mage will have to do something big and soon. Oh no, he's running into the middle of everything. That's very awkward with all these sentries. But maybe he can get a combo going.
He is essentially the only military unit here for the humans. There's a couple infantrymen doing just about nothing. Ooh, that's a very nice Hailstorm, taking down at least 2 of the sentries. No luck with the ultimate going to come down there, though.
I think you're behind by a few seconds. Could you forward like 5 seconds or so?
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes we get a little out of sync with the replays. It's just how it is. Anyway, I want to see what Rhaaah is doing at this workshop. It looks like he's getting his first upgrade from there right now, which is going to be the precision stance, but immediately queues up the protective shield and echo of the mountain upgrades for the Earthshapers. So the sentries and the precision stance turn into stationary snipers, able to interrupt abilities, and then the Earthshapers will gain a protective shield that they can activate. And some extra focus as well. Not many iron mines for Rhaaah though. Oh, he's working out in the new sector with the where the golem was. Makes sense. But here comes Esprimo.
I need to look. That might be his only source of. Oh no, he does have a second source of moon silver ore. Okay, so there is 2 sources of tier 3 resources here. One in the back and one in the corner.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of it. So 1500 moon silver. The dwarves can keep going for a long time on this map. Not to mention if Rhaaah takes over this bottom sector as well. There's another Inferno Golem, so taking that means that he completely denies Esprimo access to these high levels, but he's gonna have to teleport back, never mind. This is the opportunity for Esprimo though to go there. Like the catapults are amazing against these golems. Look at that. They have minus 20% resists against siege. Catapults have super high DPS. Combine the two and all you get is boom.
Do you think it's worth it from Esprimo to use his teleport to get over to the golem quicker? It will put him in a vulnerable position, but it makes it nearly impossible for Rhaaah to like stop him from creeping the golem.
See, I think if he can defend the other side with a handful of champions, I agree. So what he's got right now is enough to go with. And you know what? He's getting actually a little bit lucky with Rhaaah messing around at home, getting Mole Riders and potentially their upgrade. Yeah, he's working on the Stomp upgrade right now. So Rhaaah is interested in sieging bases, or at least taking down the buildings. With these guys, that's going to be very interesting. These have been recently buffed, so more hit points, more attack. But it also means that Esprimo's high-level units, like the champions, are going to be able to deal with this very easily. It's all about attacking in undefended places.
It was a little bit interesting to me to see that the dwarves got a buff to Mole Riders. I felt like they were already really strong, but you know, nice to see additional playstyles opening up for them and things like that.
I do think they're pretty good at deleting buildings. It's just that health. And they got nerfed at the same time a while ago, where their impair speed was reduced. But there it is. True. There's a stomp. And that's going to delete quite a few of the buildings, leaving just the border fortress, which Esprimo is trying to heal up. We've also got the Berserker. Imagine if the Berserker Shout gets combined with the Mole Riders. That's going to be a lot of extra damage, but Esprimo is done with the leveling up. He's level 7 now, so can he defend this?
He needs to go if he's going to. He's not... Is he going to try and walk all the way back? Okay, there we go. There we go. There's the teleport. I was very concerned for a second there. He will arrive, but can his army be strong enough to stop this? Both armies kind of overlapping all on top of each other thanks to the awkward teleport.
Yeah, which kind of favors Rhaaah in this situation. He just had more meat to his army, and the champions are not yet high enough in number. The border fortress helping the best it can, but I'm afraid what we're going to see here is this border fortress getting destroyed. Despite Esprimo's best attempts. Maybe he's holding though. Hold up.
I can't believe it. I feel like that border fortress has to go down. There's no way he... Why is... I feel like Rhaaah is kind of throwing away an opportunity here. Surely you could have killed what's left here. The remaining army for the human is not that strong.
It really wasn't. I agree with you. But I guess he just didn't want to risk losing more units. You can come back stronger next time.
I suppose there's something to be said for always making the safe play. you know? Always making sure that you don't throw your game away. Going to maybe put pressure on the map elsewhere. He might suspect that the delayed arrival of the human in that last fight meant that the Inferno Golem had been taken. So he might try and put pressure on the bottom right here.
Yeah, it's kind of an easier base to take down, right? But let's see what skills actually Esprimo has now. So he's got 4 points in Arcane Force, 2 in Hailstorm, which is gonna give him this huge area. He's got Biting Frost, so he can freeze the hero. He did not pick Absorb the Elements. That's why his stuff is not doing that much damage. That's why he can't land the Starfall.
And the Dwarven army has arrived in the bottom right, attacking this frontier outpost, while the humans once again harass workers in the top left. The teleport comes through, trying to prevent this this sector from going down. Frontier outpost down to 50% health, and the battle begins once again.
Oh.
Huge area of effect on that hailstorm.
And the meteor lands in the middle of the Earthshapers, but without the buff from Absorb the Elements, it's just not going to do that much. And also the slowing from the hailstorm isn't going to do actually nearly as much as it could. But that's a defense, and I think Esprimo will be happy to take that.
I mean, those champions absolutely wrecked that fight. In fact, the lead in experience has actually gone over to the human because of how much the dwarf lost in that last fight. Oh, with each stab of those spikes, the champions just take down 2 or 3, sometimes sentries or berserkers at once.
Damn, almost got the kill on those last ones. But now they're shielded, so they should be safe and starting to regenerate as well. Esprimo just does not have the unit come, man. This is so awkward for him. He doesn't have food.
Yeah,
but
it feels like he's able to barely defend each time he... Oh my goodness, that... Ooh, scared me for a second there. That Warrior of the Depths was in deep and all by himself. Yeah, it feels like Esprimo is able to defend just barely each time he tries to... comes under attack, but he's not really able to make any offensive progress on the other side.
No, and going up against that many berserkers is just absolutely terrifying. They can activate their little battle cry and sprint after you. It's spooky.
One catapult does go down, and that's a big source of damage, as we alluded to. The catapults kind of tried to be nerfed in the last patch, so they weren't quite as much of a kill-all-everything unit, but they still definitely, with those wildfire boulders, make a big impact in these huge team fights. I guess not team fights. You know what I mean.
We get a few more players in here, we're gonna get team fights.
I've been playing too much MOBAs lately, thinking of every time you get a big fight, it's a team fight.
No worries.
A little bit of a misrally here. There's some units from Rhaaah running through the border fortress.
Oh no, the Royal Mage is not with the army. Champions engaging by themselves, that's not gonna cut it. And the misrallied Berserker picks off a catapult, are you kidding me? Wow.
Oh, it wasn't a misrally, it's the Giga Brain, it's the 500 IQ play.
It is on purpose. We got a Warhorn coming in for Rhaaah. By the way, I haven't pointed out yet, these Berserkers are upgraded with their blue magic axes. Now dealing magic damage to units like the champions, increasing their output by 25% right there.
Money Hailstone if I've ever seen
Whoa!
one, but like you admitted to earlier, oh, the huge meteor! Oh, that could be exactly what Esprimo needs to get back into this. I mean, he's losing lots of army, but he sacrificed a lot to get there, did Rhaaah.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he still does not have Absorb the Elements, even on level 8. He instead puts a point in Arcane Force. That might be actually coming from a potion? I'm not sure. But yeah, Absorb the Elements, such a must-have. Pyromancers from Rhaaah starting to come in. He's even got Fire Golems to add some siege damage.
Once again, beginning a siege onto this border fortress. Even though it's the strongest point on the map for the human, he seems really determined to take this out. And once again, really nice looking Hailstorm, but without Absorb the Elements, just doesn't do the damage you'd really want it to do. Catapult's really the only army here for the human, aside from the hero and one champion on the left side.
As much as I've been loving Esprimo's hold so far, this is starting to look really dicey as the triple fire golem, who are buffed, by the way, by the Berserker Shout, are now sieging down this border fortress. Their damage output is at 409 damage per attack.
There have been so many just wonderful hailstorms in this game, and I just can't help but wonder how things would be different if we had absorbed the elements here. The damage output would be so much bigger. And it does look like this border fortress is going to drop. Nothing the human can do to stop it.
Well, even flag bearers show up at the end here as some Aria has been collected. But yeah, like, you know, you can do such a big combo with Absorb the Elements and Flag Bearers, and we just not gotten to sadly see it. Level 8, Royal Mage not able to live up to his full potential right now. Unfortunate for Esprimo.
And I mean, once again, I mean, Border Fortress goes down, but a lot of troops do also drop for, you know, Rhaaah. So it's, once again, not a bad defense from Esprimo. I don't feel like he's going to do anything great with this on the back of it. I never see a moment where the tides turn and Esprimo can go forward with his own army. He's just kind of barely surviving, you know?
Yeah, I have to agree. Maybe he can get back to space, but nice freeze on that warrior.
For just a moment, there was the hope of a hero kill. Maybe could have gotten him a big way back into this game. And you're right. Royal Flag is put down back in the middle of this space. Surrounded. Maybe? I don't think the DPS is there. I think the human troops are going to drop. Yep, he'll be fine. The Warrior of the Depths escapes just fine.
Oh, we've got combat balloons as well now.
Do they have their bombs? That's like my favorite thing with the dwarves, is to make combat balloons and just drop bombs. That's my favorite thing.
Not yet. See if he's researching it.
Uh-oh, Royal Mage surrounded, and the hero kill goes through. Oof, that hurts. Level 9 now for the dwarf. Gonna be an absolute powerhouse, losing the sector, losing his army, losing his hero. And Esprimo down to only 31 population compared to the 177 of the dwarf. Ooh.
Actually, Rhaaah didn't pick a whole lot of new abilities or level 2s of anything. Like Hat Splitter is not level 2, Sweeping Strike isn't level 2, but instead he picked up like Battle Frenzy so he can teleport around a little bit. He's starting to work on Breath of Vitality now. He's gotten himself Recuperate level 2 so he can escape to he can escape like the icicles and whatever.
There's another border fortress here in the west, which will make it a little bit more difficult to siege down, but the army discrepancy is so huge. I just have to feel like this isn't going to matter. I mean, those fire golems have just done so much damage on the border fortress. Look at it evaporate! It's just gone!
Goodbye.
Boom! And with that, the Dwarven army is left free to rampage across the rest of this sector. The production is now going to come under fire. 2 barracks going to fall here for the human. I have to feel like this has got to be the beginning of the end. And the GG does... Oh, no, it doesn't get called. They all paused for a second. It looked exactly like it when the end of the game comes in.
Oh, I didn't get that. That's strange. Well, hopefully...
Might have just been my PC.
Hopefully everything's fine. I really like the Mentalist, by the way, from Esprimo here. A good use. But the army's quality is just not going to make up for the lack of numbers.
Yeah, less than half of the population of the dwarf at this point, and he's losing sectors and production, structures really fast. And with each one, the dwarf gains more. Now, these aren't the highest quality sectors. Most of their resources have been stripped bare by the human in times past, but he'll take what he can get at this point, and everything he takes is also money coming out of the pocket of Esprimo, so it's just not really what you want to see if you're a fan of the human at this point. Gonna lose a stone cutter and a wood cutter, maybe this sector on the right side as well. Well, there is enough of a human army to push them back here.
Yeah, all Rhaaah wants to do is just get out of those icicles so he can move it a little bit better. But aside from that, he's just going to activate the shields and actually face tank the meteor. Did not expect that, but yeah, the dwarves are doing just fine. Losing a lot of health though, like this Royal Mage is an absolute menace, but I think the numbers are just still not there for the humans, despite all these efforts. Dude, he's gonna kill all the fire golems, what?
It is an absolutely heroic effort. Like, the Royal Mage play from Esprimo has been absolutely top tier in this game, but at the end of the day, this is a game about having armies, and Esprimo just never really had one to speak of. So, game number 2 does go over to Rhaaah. Once again, very well played from him. Just the macro on point, constantly having huge armies. He makes it happen.
Look at this damage dealt by heroes. Almost 90,000 for Esprimo. Fantastic. But yeah, like, looking at the army side graph, Rhaaah was always ahead. Always. Every single moment of the game. Welcome everyone to game 3. We have got Rhaaah in the blue color this time, and he's gonna be playing as the humans.
Indeed, Rhaaah taking away his opponent's usual pick, and because Esprimo in the bottom right in purple is going to be the trolls this time.
Going with the chieftain, not a very common pick as of late, so very excited to see how that does. And Rhaaah is just going to stick with the Royal Mage, not something we actually see against the trolls too often. So also, this is actually something I don't think I've cast this combo before. So, can't really speak to it through experience. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm honestly not super familiar with the chieftain because we just don't see him that often. I'm kind of opening up his skill tree right now going, oh, so that's what he can do.
So he's got this slam and throw junk. This is all very useful against the early game troops, and actually really good for flag fights. You don't need mana for him unless you actually go for the promotion route, which I don't believe Esprimo is gonna do. We'll see how he does though. Very tanky and doesn't care much about infantrymen, but he does care about arbalists.
Is interestingly going to run right past a couple sectors and take one in the middle just to gain a little bit of map control. Definitely wants control of that that Godstone, so that's why you run forward so far and do that. Rhaaah going for a little bit more of a normal creeping route, you might say, taking the 2 sectors in front of him and then heading to the right side. But he will run into that that troll sector before too long.
It's very nice to take the center sectors actually for the troll players, as they have scrap in there. You can just see it in the fog of war. There's another, so 250 each, and it takes away the iron sectors from the humans, so win-win.
And the Royal Mage does get picked up once again. Haven't seen any of the Grey Wolf Warrior? Great Keep Warrior? I forget her name.
Wolfguard Commander.
Wolfguard Commander, thank you. Yes. So, yeah. Gonna be our 3rd Royal Mage in a row here, but that's okay with me because I felt like in patches past it was Wolfguard Commander all the time, and the Royal Mage didn't really see much play. So excited to see that we're getting to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, some say it might be the other way around now, but you know, if it's like that for a patch, I think we'll live. Just
Yeah, we'll be
get some
all right.
variety.
Yeah, variety is the spice of life. Exactly. This royal flag, probably not long for this world. It's definitely on the troll side of the map, and both of them are here to knock it down and put something back up in its place. But that does mean that the human will get most of this XP here, throwing down the hailstorms, do lots of big damage. But a TP might be his only way out of here.
Which is fine. You know, just stealing away the XP is fine for the humans. The trolls won't be able to get all the flags anyway, at least not upgraded. So it's totally fine for the humans to take that back later. Go for the flags that aren't yet upgraded and then capture those. But if Rhaaah waits too long, I'm afraid that Esprimo will build up a big army and just not really care about what the humans have.
I thought for a second that Rhaaah was going to go for worker harass here, which can be really effective against trolls, but no, he's actually going to steal away more XP from along the edge of the map here. I really like this move to deny as much XP as possible from the chieftain.
Yeah, he needs the XP himself, so a good choice, I would say. Royal Mage works best at the high levels. And he's gone for a very similar path, actually, as Esprimo did. Didn't unlock Fire Nova and doesn't have any Arcane Force yet, but we might see that soon. Fire Nova would actually make this so much quicker.
Wonder if that's going to be something picked up soon. I'm not sure what the plan is. Why? I mean, there's always... Oh, yeah, good TP. Woo! 64 health.
Wow.
Barely manages to make it out.
Just barely. He's level 3, almost working up to level 4. Where are you going? Like, clothes? Hello? What is going on, Rhaaah? He's killing himself off on purpose to respawn at full hit points.
Is that why he does that?
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then we're going shopping next, I guess. What an entertainer. He just takes off the clothes. Thanks for that, Rhaaah. Anyway, we got a little bit of food build up for Esprimo, so I totally expect him to start working on that scrapping. With the food, it's very easy to spend, right? Like each scrapper is 20 food. So if he queues up 2, the food is gone.
Royal Mage is back with full health.
And full clothing.
Yeah, does have the clothes back on as well now.
Alright, Esprimo's gonna start working on these Revenants, but isn't able to slam as the Revenant Warriors with their Claymores, they actually prevent him from doing the abilities with the interrupt. That's rough, buddy.
It is. Oh, this chieftain actually getting quite low. Is he going to go down as well? Oh, yeah, chugs a potion at the last second. And does get the level up. That will make sure he survives for the time being. But that was dangerously close. Chieftain is starting to catch up to the Royal Mage in experience now. But the Troll has so much map control. Obviously, not all these sectors are useful. But the fact that you have the vision and the ability to upgrade them into something that can shoot later on is really key here. The human feels very penned in.
Yeah, and especially with the Godstone sectors having been captured, right? And this second one is upgrading right now. Actually, it's done. So, yeah, Esprimo can just teleport between these 2 sectors. And the ones in between, I mean, they're easy enough to protect, so that's not a problem.
It's really... Rhaaah is definitely banking on this Royal Mage being a late game carry. He's sacrificed kind of all map presence in the early game for the ability to level up faster than the Troll, hoping that once he gets to high levels with the Royal Mage, he can absolutely shred through the enemy's army.
Well, good news.
It pays off.
Good news for Rhaaah, he's got Ice Might and Fire Might, which means that he's got 2 little auras going here. The Fire Might aura reduces the resistance of enemies nearby, and the Ice Might aura enfeebles them, which is an attack reduction. That's very useful against the trolls here.
Interesting, though, to do that, he has chosen not to take either of the level 5 abilities for the Royal Mage. Now, it's easy enough to pick those up. It's easy enough to pick those up at a later level, but yeah, for the time being, neither has been taken. Oh, excuse me. Absorb the Elements was taken. It just doesn't have a little marker on it.
Yeah, he doesn't have Starfall either, which is... That's the weird part, really. Instead, he went for an Arcane Force free. I would argue that can wait.
He is interested in taking over these middle sectors. He's going to start needing that iron before too long. Skips past the troll Eye of the Tribe that was actually built up here, and is going to take these flags in the middle.
Yeah, well. Esprimo also is going to be getting level 5 himself with the Chieftain, and should be able to go home for some items, and so on and so forth. Let's see what his picks are going to be. He's going to lose the Eye Banners in the middle, that's for sure. We got Slam 2, we got Fake Hide Rage. So he's ready to hide the pain. Oh, the low smashers are immediately getting picked off. I don't like this choice of getting in there. Rhaaah is just using the absorbed elements, and the auto attacks are going absolutely bonkers. So, yeah, that was a bad moment for Esprimo right there.
Oh, nearly loses another one. There was one of down to 30 health that walked almost right into a bunch of infantrymen. He's even come back. Look at it. Yep. Goes down once again. I don't know about this from Esprimo. You're throwing away a lot of troops here. Maybe even the hero. Yes.
The Chieftain.
Ooh.
As soon as Fake Hide Rage is over, you get punished with minus 100% resistances. So this Royal Mage just unleashed everything he had. And what do you know? It worked.
And you got to remember, these are troll units as well. So they're kind of, I don't want to say worth more, but like they're tougher, they're bigger, they're heavier. Losing one hurts more than it would if you were just losing infantrymen. So this is a big loss. I think Esprimo just put himself really far behind here trying to keep a hold of these middle sectors.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're Esprimo here, I think what you would have wanted is to save all those units, just not teleport in, and upgrade all of these smashers into Skull Crushers. Now, those would do AoE damage, they'd be tougher, they'd be able to get on top of those infantrymen and the arbalists and wipe them out pretty much. Royal Mage would have probably still held it, but it would have been a close fight, not a one-sided one.
We're in such an interesting position here. The human has control of the two middle sectors, right? But not either of the ones that lead up onto the bridge. So he has to walk through troll territory to get to his own stuff.
Yeah, that's a little
I mean,
awkward.
hey, it's working for him. He's got the iron he needs now, and he's up into tier 2, so that iron will matter. It's a little funny.
Royal Chad is buff as hell. Alright, gonna be buying tier 3 items, armor and weapon. And I guess the next target is gonna be that Drake up in the top side.
Troll's going to do with that respite in the meantime. He doesn't have really all that much to speak of in terms of army for a counterattack, but the Chieftain has just teleported over to the left side. Not headed towards anything aggressive, though. Oh, wait. Now he backs around, turns up. Yeah, so he might be looking to try and punish the human for being out of position.
Well,
thinks better of it.
He checked the sector, doesn't like it. I don't like it that he didn't buy any items, though. Esprimo does have some money, right? Did he buy money? Oh, he's got not... Oh, it's a no-equip situation. He's got the fire orbs and the tier 3 items. But no pickup.
That hurts. You spend the money and it doesn't even get you anything if you don't equip the items. And the human now taking the Storm Wyvern in the top right side. The lightning hurts, but not as much as like 20 arbalists hurt. Another level up now for the Royal Mage. He has now reached level 6, almost 7. That's going to start to hurt real bad.
Got a focus ring here, so he can maybe forego going deep waters free as well, for a while at least.
Does free him up with another point he can put into potentially maybe Hailstorm level 2 if he so chooses, or maybe pick up Fire Nova at last because he still hasn't taken Fire Nova.
He's not picking anything. This Royal Mage is a strange guy today. He just goes shopping naked because he's gonna buy clothes anyway, and I don't know. No high level skills. He's skipping it. What is this, Rhaaah? Is this a build?
I feel like he's that Giga Chad meme. You know, arrives naked, dies to creeps, refuses to elaborate further. That's the Royal Mage. Gonna take this sector away from the troll as well. Now has a really nice source of Arya, and has reached tier 3.
Oh, he's absorbing the elements. Ooh, that level 2 slam on the Arbor is doing so much work. Royal Mage kind of getting picked up by the throwers, but he's doing so much damage himself that everything dies, and I think that's it for Esprimo. There's no way that he can hold what's coming to him. Goodbye, Esprimo. Thank you very much for playing in the tournament. Better luck next time. But yeah, Rhaaah has done super well, and he advances to the semifinals.
Very well played from Rhaaah. Just a masterclass in map control and trusting in the late game power of the Royal Mage. Also want to shout out to Esprimo for how hard he worked, especially in defending on map 2. Just really well played from both of them, but in the end, the superior macro control and bigger army, I think consistently from the side of Rhaaah, is what ends up giving him the 3-0 victory here over Esprimo.
We want to thank our MetaPlays website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.